Stargirl, episode 11, Shining Wizard. I mean, not Shining Wizard, that's a wrestling term. Shining Knight. Shining Knight. And I mean, yes, the episode was called Shining Knight, but his backstory, like, your man was in the episode for like 10 minutes. So just to get since it's titled Shining Knight, let's get the Shining Knight stuff out of the way. The episode starts with him, with the knight, the janitor, roaming through the fields, roaming through the streets, trying to get his memory, because he's messed up in the head. And when he saw Stargirl at the high school homecoming thing, and he saved her from Cindy, and he touched the staff, he started getting his memories back. He started to remember. He ended up having like visions, because remember, he saw Pat, and then he knew that was Stripesy, and then he was just like, now he's kind of like, he's like, I'm a janitor, but I remember this and I remember that. And then so in his mind, he's just like, all right, I need to find Pat Dugan. I need to find Stripesy, because he's the only person who could help me and hopefully help me with my memories. So he tracks down Pat. He go because he had because in his janitor's closet at the school, he did have Pat's flyer, like garage flyer. So he goes down to the garage. Beth is there, Rick is there. They're talking about what the next steps are going to be. You know, Pat was basically trying to talk to them about everything that was going on, and then the Shining Knight actually showed up. He showed up, and then he had his Excalibur sword in his hand, and when he was looking at Pat and Beth and Rick, to him they looked like the Dragon King and his minions. And then, he saw them as like the Dragon King. Then he drew his sword on them, and he was doing the whole "have at thee," and I'll trance you vile villains, because he got the accent. Whatever. And it was just, then after that, like, Pat was just like, oh, it's your boy Pat Dugan. Remember the 7 soldiers of heroism or whatever. And then he was just like, help me, Stripesy. Like, I've lost my memories. Because come to find out, because he told him, because Pat flat out asked him, he was just like, yo, what's the deal? Tell me your story about how you came to Blue Valley. And he said that after the 7 Knights of Justice, whatever, after their group broke up, he was the only person left, and he was pursuing Dragon King. He kept referring to him as the dragon. He was like, I have to slay the dragon, I have to slay the beast still needs slaying. But he's basically talking about Dragon King. And he followed Dragon King all the way to Blue Valley. Dragon King got the jump on him, busted him up, and I guess along with Brainwave, Dragon King and Brainwave together scrambled this dude's mind and took his memories and made him think he was a janitor. So, which is kind of cool, because, the whole thing, like, keep your enemies close. Instead of them just flat out killing him, they basically just wiped his memory clean and made him be the school janitor. So now, but Stargirl's staff helped him rejog his memory. So, now he's talking to Pat, and then he's just like, Pat, I need your help. So Pat scooped him up, took him back to the crib. He's laying on the couch, and he's explaining to Barbara the whole situation, and Barbara's like, all right, we'll make a nice bed, we'll make a bed for him upstairs, and then until he gets his memories back, and we can help figure it out. And Pat even said to Barbara, he was just like, I think Brainwave and Icicle, they're trying to plan some mind control brainwashing thing on a mass scale. What happened to Shining Knight was basically just was probably just like the trial runs. So but he couldn't confirm that. And then it takes us to what we thought. It takes us to the main portion of the episode, which is what I've been saying all along, and I've been saying this since day one, since the beginning. Starman was not that girl daddy. Like, her actual dad showed up. He came to Blue Valley. Courtney met him, and then of course she was like, "You're not my dad," and then he was just like, "That's your father." She was like, "That's your father, Courtney." He's like, "He's not my dad." And then she was like, Courtney was all over Pat in this episode. Like, she was like very like clinging to Pat in this episode, but that was her dad. The two of them went for a walk. They went to breakfast. They had a conversation. He told her, he was like, "Yeah, basically, I'm a no good piece of shit." But that he was just like, oh, but I do want to have a relationship with you because you're my daughter. And then, we come to find out also that her dad is basically a con man. And her dad, like I said, her dad's no good. Her dad's a piece of shit. He's a con man. He came all the way down to Blue Valley because I guess he's broke. He needs money. And the locket that he gave Courtney that she's been looking at all season, he has one too. And the lockets are worth a lot of money. Like, apparently, like, they're very valuable. He came all the way down to Blue Valley to meet Courtney just to get the locket from her. Because he asked her, he was like, oh, if you give me your locket and I have yours and mine, I can use them to put a down payment on an apartment, and then you can come to California and visit me. And right then and there, Courtney knew he was full of shit. And she was just like, wow, like my dad, she's like, my dad's a con man. And then, like you could see the hurt in her eyes, and like she took the necklace off. She gave it to him because at this point she kept the necklace because it was like, it reminds me of my dad. Like this necklace is like, it's my father. It's like, it reminds me of my father. But once you find out that your dad ain't shit, then she was just like, you know what? Like she gave him the necklace, and then he was just like, like I'll let you know when you can come to California, whatever. And then she went in the house and she started crying. Pat rolled up on the dad and he was just like, yo, what you just did was messed up. He's like, we both know you don't, he said, we both know you ain't coming back. Well, actually, he told him, he was just like, like you hurt her, like I care about her. And then he's like, don't you ever come back to Blue Valley again. And then he flat out said it. He was like, bro, I ain't had no intention on coming back. So I was just like, you really weren't trying to see this girl anymore. So he straight up just came all the way down there to get the locket and then to bounce. So which was jacked up, which is very jacked up. And then Pat, and then he made a comment about Barbara. He was like, yo, Barbara still got it, but she had more of it when she was with me. And then Pat got mad and punched him. I'd have took the locket out of his pocket, to be honest with you, but I mean, it is what it is. Pat dropped him, so Pat put a little respect on his name, and then the dad was gone, and that was basically it. I kind of feel like either next season or in a later episode, I feel like her dad's gonna come back as a bad guy. I feel like the ISA is gonna recruit him or some. Like this isn't the last we've seen of Courtney's father. That's all I'm gonna say. But when he come back, it's definitely not gonna be it's definitely not gonna be on the right side of things. So then, Courtney was upset, and then she went downstairs, and then the staff, she picked up the staff, and the staff wasn't working. And then she got upset because she was telling Pat and her mom, she was just like, the staff knows that I'm not Starman's daughter, therefore it's not working for me anymore. And Pat told her flat out, he was like, first of all, the staff been knew you weren't Starman's daughter. Like, the staff worked for you because it sensed like the good within you. And the reason why the staff isn't working for her now is because like she's hurt and she's feeling pain, and she's also feeling doubt. Like the staff is feeling her disconnection from the whole situation. That's why it doesn't want to light up for her. But the two of them have a conversation. She even went to school and she told her friends, she was just like, like, it's over, guys. I'm not Starman's daughter. And Yolanda was like, so what? I'm not Wildcat's daughter. And Beth was like, yeah, I'm not Dr. Mid-Nite's kid. And then I was just like, didn't Yolanda say they weren't friends anymore? Like, what happened to that? Like, Yolanda need to get it together because that girl is way too wishy-washy. And then then even Rick, he was just like, listen, he was like, the staff chose you. They were trying to like give her the pep talk and tell her not to give up. And I did say that. I said, watch when she finds out that Starman ain't her daddy. Watch she quit the whole thing, and that's kind of. But it was different because she quit only because the staff stopped working. So then like the entire school, they had like a school thing. It was like Henry's funeral, and like the whole group was there. And then Brainwave showed up to speak on his son's behalf. And while he was addressing like the kids talking about his son, he was sending thoughts to Courtney like, I dare you to come at me, bitch. He's just like, what you gonna do? He's like, ISA, you heard? Like, we about to blow this up. He's like, I dare you to do something about it. And Courtney freaked out. She ran home and she was trying to get the staff. She's trying to get the staff to turn on. And then, she told her mom and she told Pat, she was like, listen, she was like, we're all in this together now, so I need you guys to come downstairs with me. And the three of them together, I guess their energies manifested together, and as a family, they got the staff to turn back on. So now the staff, and it's mostly because Courtney has that hope again, like she believes again. So the staff came back on for her. Shining Knight came downstairs, and he was just like, "Oh, the staff, the queen has returned." And then when he came downstairs, it was like peeking on him. I was just like, "Oh yeah, I forgot all about him." So and that was it for them. And then finally, Brainwave and Icicle, they had a conversation, and they had like 2 or 3 conversations throughout this entire episode, and all the conversations they had just reaffirmed my point that Brainwave should be leading the charge. Because Brainwave told him, because first of all, you could tell Icicle's afraid of Brainwave. He was just like, yo, I want you in my head. He was like, well, what are you going to do about it? And then he told him, he was just like, listen, we're about to carry out the plans to brainwash, like 6 states all across America. And then he was like, I can sense that you don't want to do it anymore, because of Barbara, like because of this woman that you like. It's like now you don't want to go through with the plans. And then he was just like, like, don't talk to me, Brainwave. He was like, Brainwave was like, first of all, I killed my wife and my son for your plans, and you about to put the plans on hold for Barbara? He was like, hells to the no. He's like, we ain't doing that. So, but you could tell like he legit was putting fear in like Icicle's heart. And then, you know, later on Icicle came back, and then he was just, and then he read his mind, and he was just like, I thought you, he's like, I'm glad you see things our way now. So, you know, so he was just like, so we'll go through with the plans. But he was like, but before we go through with the plans, he's like, I gotta kill Courtney and her whole family. And then, you know, and then Icicle even said, he was just like, when you kill all of them, make sure you kill Pat's son too, because the last thing we need, based on what's been happening all season, the last thing we need is another legacy kid walking around. And I thought that, I mean, I actually thought that was pretty damn funny when he said that. Although, like, Mike doesn't really pose Mike's basically Pat, like he poses no threat whatsoever. You know, but yeah, but they're coming for the whole family, so now like the family has to go in hiding, and that was how the episode ended. You know, it was a very quick episode. Like, not a lot happened. It's like a lot happened, but a lot didn't happen at the same time. Like, this whole episode was basically about just getting answers. You know, we know what direction we're going in now. Like, there's 12 hours now until the doomsday clock for the injustice, you know, plan to unfold. So, you know, we got 12 hours for Courtney and the gang to come up with a plan in order to stop them. But now all the cards are out on the table, so it should be a lot easier for them to, for them to take on the ISA. And who knows, like maybe, you know, like the Shining Knight will join, maybe a couple of other people will come out of hiding, and we'll get like this whole big group battle going. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. Is Icicle going to be the one to prevent, you know, to stop the ISA as a whole? You know, just brainwave, you know, kill Icicle in the season finale and take over as the leader of the ISA, because you can't stop this dude now. You know, we got 2 episodes left. There are 2 episodes left of Stargirl and Doom Patrol. Both shows will end in the same week, and you know, and like I said, it's basically over. So let's get this battle going. Let's get these answers popping. Like I said, just leave your comments below about what you think is going to happen. Or just general comments about anything related to the show. Click the notifications so you know when my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and my Doom Patrol videos come out, because we're still covering that. And like I said, and we'll ride it to the end of the Stargirl train. So that's it. Leave a comment again, as always, like and or subscribe. It's your boy Icon signing out for more DC TV. Take care, and for Stargirl, for the Shining Knight, I'm out this bitch.